In today's video, I'm going to talk about blogging and how it can help your website rank in Google. When I talk about blogging, I'm referring to the blog on your website. It could be called news, insight, knowledge hub, resources, whatever you call it, the purpose of it remains the same. So to think about why you need to blog, you need to understand the mission of Google, the purpose of Google, which is to serve us with the most relevant and useful content that matches our search queries. So this is why content is still king in 2019. Your blog content needs to answer these queries better than anyone else. So how do you do this? How do you come up with ideas for your blogs? First thing I do is to create customer personas. So these are pictures of my customers. This is what my typical customer looks like. I paint a picture and add, their age, their gender, their location, their hobbies, their interests, their pain points, their challenges, what barriers you need to overcome for them to want to use your products and services. And these customer personas, also known as buyer personas, are useful for B2C and B2B. It's just that when you're doing, if you're in B2B and you're doing a customer persona, you're probably thinking more in terms of their job title, their seniority, what their job role is and what their challenges are in their job role and what information they need to do their job better. So just as applicable, you're just thinking about different things. So once you've got your customer personas, and I tend to give them a name and a picture so I can really visualize them when I'm writing content. Next thing is to think about, what am I going to write? So how do you get your ideas for your blog posts? What I do is I use a tool called Answer the Public. So I'll pop in the keyword in the search bar and it will come up with all of the questions that are asked around that keyword. So then I'll produce a list of questions which will form the blog post titles. Once I've got those, I will plug them in Google. So I'll just Google them and see how much content comes up for each of them. So how good is that content? How useful, how relevant is that content? That question might have been answered really well, but not very recently. And so then that's crying out for a more recent answer to that question. So once I've narrowed it down, then I'll have my list of blog post titles which I feel that I can answer better than they're being answered currently online. So you've got your titles. So when you're posting your blog posts, always make sure that you're adding your on-page SEO, so your page title tags, your meta description, your image tags, to make sure that it can be found by search engines. Also make sure you're sharing on social media and uploading to Google Search Console to encourage Google to index it quicker. How often you post depends on what's manageable for you or what your budget is if you're outsourcing it, but do it consistently and do it regularly. I would say at least once a month, but aim for once a week. So this strategy is a long-term strategy. You won't see any immediate results. Your blog post won't rank immediately, but over the long term, this is a really good strategy. And remember, every time that you post a new blog post, that's one more opportunity for your website to be ranking on Google.